So a lot of people have been talking to me recently about SEO. It's a really hot topic. I can't believe people are this fascinated with it. I've literally done nothing but think about SEO for 7 years of my career, and I'm bored with it. But apparently you guys are more interested in it than I thought. So one of the things I want to talk about today is understanding SEO, understanding when you're done, understanding how to supplement it in ways other than changing your tags and titles, because the world of SEO is not just tags and titles. So once you've tested your SEO using the method that I talked about earlier, where you take your lowest viewed products and you optimize them for better tags and titles until they start to grow in traffic, that's the best way to test, because those least viewed items aren't selling. So once you've done that and you're seeing results and you're seeing traffic on an upward trend and you've moved that to all your items and you're consistently seeing an upward trend, that's a good time to stop messing with those tags and titles, because any little things you do to mess with it can compromise your traffic. So I like to let SEO sit for about 6 months usually before I mess with it again. So once I've tested it and I'm seeing that it's working, I'll implement it everywhere, and then I'll just kind of let it sit for a while. And then I'll do other SEO things. So a lot of people don't talk about these other SEO methods, but there are a lot of them. One of them that I talk about all the time that you guys know I'm obsessed with is adding new items to your shop. So Etsy loves shops that are updated frequently. It wants to see that your shop has a lot of action going on, because it knows that if it sends a customer to a shop where there's a lot going on, that person who's running the shop is more attentive. They're more likely to please that customer. They're more likely to have more interesting items, more trendy items, and they're more likely to be on their customer service. So Etsy really prioritizes shops that are doing well in terms of turnover and also just adding new things. So the other thing I would talk about when it comes to SEO is a marketing funnel as a whole. A lot of times we don't talk about the other things inside of the funnel. So in my funnel, for this blog, for example, I have a clear path that I want people to follow when they interact with my business, because I know they're not just going to meet me and buy. So what I want them to do is I want them to find my blog. I want them to subscribe to some sort of email list in exchange for some kind of freebie. This is something you can do on your own website. You can do it on Etsy with a mailing list image. There's all kinds of reasons that you could get people to subscribe to your mailing list. All it takes is a simple Google search to look at some great suggestions for what you can do. Then once they're on my email list, I have the ability to stay fresh in their mind by contacting them with new things that are related to that thing that they downloaded. So if they downloaded a freebie, I can say, oh, hey, you downloaded this free thing. I have this other free thing over here that's really similar. Do you want that too? And they can say yes. And we can keep moving through free things until we get to the point where they're like, oh my God, this person has given me so much value. Now I really, really like them, and I would feel totally comfortable buying from them. So then when I pitch something that is paid, those people are way more likely to buy it. Now, when it comes to Etsy shops, a lot of people do a lot of emails that are kind of like, 25% off, 10% off, here's this, here's that. But I challenge you to look for Etsy sellers who are doing things a little bit differently. So one of the great examples of this is we have a seller in this group named Sandra, and she does bullet journal printables. And one of the great things she does on her website is if you sign up, she lets you download a couple of her printables completely free. And that's how she gets you onto her email list. And then every single month, she emails you updates, what's going on in the blog, here's the newest article. She also emails you, here's your free pages for this month as a member of the email list. And then she says, here is your discount code for this month on Etsy if you want to buy additional pages to supplement your bullet journal. So that's a great example of an Etsy shop that's using that email funnel to drive traffic and sales on a consistent basis and stay top of customers' minds. Now, another way you can significantly improve your SEO is just to expand outside of Etsy. So we've talked about this, Amazon, Creative Market. In the UK, it's not on the high street. There's a lot of different platforms that you can look at that will allow you to expand your presence and just be popping up all over the place online. So wherever a potential customer shops, you're there. Now, there's no reason to open all these platforms at once. I started very slowly. It took me about 6 months to build up to 4 shops, and that was after I was already established with my first Etsy shop. So take it slow, do one at a time, try it out, and really just try and expand your feelers out into new places. Find new target audiences and see how they respond to you. For example, I found that my Not on the High Street audience bought a lot. They bought tons and tons more stuff than my initial Etsy audience did. And I realized that my stuff was better marketed to those people. So I changed a lot of my Etsy offerings to suit that target audience better. So it wound up that there were 2 different things on 2 different platforms that were more targeted towards that audience. And seeing those differences in sales and how those customers responded to me taught me the differences between those audiences. So it can really be a very educational process. And it's one of those things in SEO that when you're just sort of waiting for your tags and titles to do your job and you're kind of sitting there, it's a great thing to do to move yourself forward, is to choose another platform with a big built-in audience and just go for it. See what happens. Don't forget that you don't want to duplicate your content perfectly. I have a video about that in the How I Increased My Income from $1,000 to $4,500 a month, where I talk about duplicate content and why it's important not to copy and paste, because Google will not show your items if they are completely identical. So you'll want to go ahead and swap your titles around, swap your tags around, swap your description. And it's just as simple as switching a couple of words here and there, switching the order of sentences, that kind of thing. It's really not complex. But that is what I would advise you to do if you are just kind of waiting for your tags and titles to cook and you want to move forward with more SEO. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.